the last time you sharpened your skills? Past glory and education don't count for much. We have to continuously sharpen the skills. There is another dimension to the above story. John's boss said, You really don't have 5 years experience. What do you think as 5 years of experience is really only 1 year's experience repeated 5 times over. Feed your mind. Just as our bodies need good food every day, our minds need positive thoughts every day. The key words in the preceding sentence are good food and positive thoughts. If we feed our body with junk food and our mind with negative thoughts, we will have both a sick body and a sick mind. We need to feed our mind. We need to feed our minds with pure and positive thoughts to stay on track. Similarly, positive thinkers regularly build a reserve of positive attitude by constantly feeding their minds, their minds on pure, powerful and positive thoughts on a daily basis. Positive thinkers are not fools and they are not going through life blinders. They are winners who recognize their limitations but focus on their strengths. Losers, on the other hand, recognize their strengths but focus on their weaknesses. If we commit few hours a day and utilize that time for our education by reading good books or listening to positive recorded messages, it will give us close to 500 hours of education in 1 year in the field that we want to excel in. That is equivalent to receiving a postgraduate education. Step 5. Build high self esteem. What is self esteem? Self esteem is the way we feel about ourselves. When we feel good, the world looks nice, productivity goes up, and our relationships are a lot better. The reverse is just as true. What could be the reason? It is that there is a direct correl- correlation between our feelings and behavior. How do you build high self esteem? If you want to build high self esteem quickly, one of the fastest ways is to do something for those who cannot repay you in cash or kind. A few years ago, I started volunteering my time to teach attitude and self esteem programs to jail inmates. In just a few weeks, I learned more than I had learned in years. After attending my program for 2 weeks, one of the inmates stopped me and said, Shiv, I'm going to be released from the prison in a couple of weeks. I asked him what he had learned through the attitude development program. He thought for a while and then said that he felt good about himself. I said, Good. Doesn't tell me anything. Tell me specifically what behavior has changed. I believe that learning has not taken place unless behavior changes. He told me that since the beginning of the program, he started reading the Bible every day. I then asked him, what did reading the Bible do to him? He replied that he now felt comfortable with himself and others, something he hadn't felt before. I said to him, that is nice, but the bottom line is, what are you going to do when you leave jail? He told me he was going to try to be a contributing member of society. I asked him the same question again and he gave me the same answer. Then I asked him, what are you going to do when you leave jail? Obviously, I was looking for a different answer. At this point, in an angry tone, he said, I am going to be a contributing member of society. I pointed out to him that there was a world of difference in what he said earlier and what he said now. First, he had said, I am going to try to be, and now he said, I am going to be. The difference is the word try. Either we do something or we don't. The word try kept the door open for him to come back to jail. Another inmate who was listening in on our conversation asked, Chief, what do you get paid to do all this? I told him. The feeling that I just experienced was worth more than what I could get paid in monetary terms. He then asked, why do you come here? I said, I come here for my own selfish reasons. The feeling that I got upon listening to this man, I come here to get that feeling. When I feel good, my self esteem goes up. When my self esteem goes up, I become more protective everywhere. This kind of selfishness is healthy. In a nutshell, what you put into the system, you always get back, and most times it is more than you can ever put in, but you don't put in with the desire to get something back. Another inmate said, what anybody does is their own business. When people like, when people take drugs, it is none of your business. Why don't you leave them alone? I replied, my friend, even though I disapprove, I will compromise and accept what you are saying. That is none of my business. If you can guarantee that when someone one takes drugs and gets behind the wheel of a car and has an accident, the only thing they will ever hit is a tree. I will compromise. But if you cannot guarantee this, you or I or our kids could be dead, then you better believe it is my business. I have to get this person off the roads. Whenever we do something positive in life, even if no one is watching, we rise a little bit in our own eyes. Whenever we do something negative like lying, cheating, stealing, even if no one is watching, we fall down a little bit in our own eyes. That's the magic of self-esteem. There are many individuals and organizations who do voluntary activities where there are no gains in cash or kind, such as organizing blood donation, eye donation camps. You ask them why they are doing this, and their answer is I feel good. Many times you hear parents telling their kids do what feels good without understanding that feeling. Good is a natural outcome of doing good, and doing good is a natural outcome of being good. How can a person feel good when they don't do good? This one phrase, it is my life, I will do what I want, has done more damage than good. People choose to ignore the spirit and derive the meaning that is convenient to them. Such people have tied this phrase to selfishness, and this has had a negative effect on them and the world around them. These people forget that we don't live in isolation. What you do affects me, and what I do affects you. We are connected. We have to realize that we are sharing this planet and we must learn to behave responsibly. There are two kinds of people in this world, givers and takers. Takers eat well and givers sleep well. Givers have high self esteem and a positive attitude, and they serve society. By serving society, I do not mean a run of the mill pretending to serve others, nor do I refer to the drug dealers who, after making ill gotten wealth, set up a drug rehab center in order to become legitimate. We all have the names to take, but the sign of a healthy personality is one that also has a names to give. A man was washing his new car and his neighbor asked him, when did you get the car? He replied, my brother gave it to me. The neighbor said, I wish I had a car like that. The man replied, you should wish to have a brother like that. The neighbor's wife was listening to the conversation and she interrupted, I wish I was a brother like that. What a positive way to think. Step 6. Stay away from negative influences. What are what are negative influences? Negative influences are negative people, drugs, alcohol, pornography, profanity, etc. All negative influences pull people down. It depletes energy that could have been used constructively to achieve new heights. Impressionable minds get influenced by adult behavior and the media. Peer pressure affects not only children and teenagers, it is also prevalent in adults. It shows a lack of self esteem, and people do not have the courage to say no, thank you, and stay away from negative influences. A person's character is judged not only by the company they keep but also by the company they avoid. If you associate with achievers, you will become one. If you associate with thinkers, you will become one. If you associate with givers, you will become one. If you associate with negative people, you will become one. Whenever people succeed in life, petty people will take cracks at them and try to pull them down. When you refuse to fight petty people, you win. In martial arts, they teach that when someone takes a crack at you, instead of blocking, you should step away. Why? Blocking requires energy. Why not use it more productively? Similarly, in order to fight petty people, you have to come down to their level. That is what they want because then you become one of them. Don't let negative people drag you down. Smoking drugs and alcohol. According to US Surgeon General's report, 90% people become smokers by the age of 18. Guess till the above study came, who was sponsoring all the major sporting events? Of course, cigarette companies because they knew the exact target audience and the impressionable age group. One reason that I don't drink is that I want to know when I'm having a good time. Drinking makes a person lose his inhibitions and give exhibitions. Alcohol. In my travels, I have noticed that in some countries, drinking every night has become a national pastime. If you don't drink, they look at you as if there is something wrong. The motto is it doesn't matter how bad your English is as long as your scotch is good. What if a banker asked them what their liquid assets are, they would bring two bottles of scotch. After a few drinks, inhibition goes down and exhibition goes up. Drinking and smoking Dri- Drinking and smoking are glamorized today. It all starts with the first time. If you ask people why they consume alcohol or take drugs, they will give you a host of reasons, such as to celebrate, to have fun, to forget problems, to relax, to experiment, to impress others. It is cool to drink, to be fashionable, to mingle for business purposes. Research shows that 1 out of 7 casual drinkers become alcoholics. Alco- alcoholics. People want to conform to peer pressure. I am amazed at the way peer pressure compels us with phrases such as, aren't you my friend? One for the road, one for your health. The following poem from an unknown author explains the dilemma of a social drinker well. I've drunk to your health in taverns. I've drunk to your health in my home. I've drunk to your health so damn many times that I've almost ruined my own. Drinking and driving costs lives. Jerry Johnson, in his book It's Killing Our Kids, cites American Hospital Association reports that half of all hospital admissions are alcohol related. According to the National Safety Council's 1989 accident fates edition. A person is injured in an alcohol related crash every 60 seconds. Pornography has only one message, and that is that a woman is only an object to be used and discarded. It is nothing short of dehumanizing women and children. As per a research by National Coalition for the Protection of Children and Families, 90% rapists are addicts to pornography. Input determines output. Garbage and obscenity in, garbage and obscenity out. Even as adults, we are vulnerable. The consequences of pornography are that it dehumanizes women, destroys marriages, makes fun of ethical and moral values, destroys individuals, families, and communities, victimizes children, encourages violence. A woman is raped in the United States every 46 seconds. National Victim Center, Crime Victims Research and Treatment Center 1992. 86% of rapists admit to regular use with 57% admitting imitation scenes when committing crimes. It is sad to see how low some people will stoop to make a buck by making their business negative movies and television programs. Today's kids are learning their attitudes and values more from television and movies than from any other source. It is estimated that in the United States, by the time a youngster gets out of high school, he has watched more than 20,000 hours of television, witnessed 15,000 murders, and watched 100,000 alcohol related commercials. Television programming and advertisements convey the message that drinking is fun, smoking is glamorous, and drugs are the in. No wonder the crime rate is so high. Soap operas and other television shows, as well as many glamorize premarital and extramarital. No wonder commitments are lacking in relationships and divorce rates are high. Impressionable viewers set their standards and benchmarks based on what they see and hear in the media. And no matter who we are impressionable to varying degrees. Profanity. Using profanity shows a lack of vocabulary, self control, and discipline. Rock music. The lyrics of some hit songs are obscene. The music we hear and the performance we watch influence us, input determines output. If you want to build a positive attitude, then associate with people with high moral character and read books that lead you to positive thinking. Where you will be 5 years from now will depend on the company you keep and the books you read. Where are you today is also the result of the same. Learn to like the things that need to be done. Start by doing what is necessary, then what is possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. Doesn't athlete always like to do or practice? Probably not, but he does it anyway. Some things need to be done whether we like them or not. For example, mothers caring for their young. This may not always be fun and may even be painful, but if you learn to like the task, the impossible becomes possible. Step 8. Start your day with something positive. Read or listen to something positive. First thing in the morning. After a good night's sleep, we are relaxed and our subconscious is receptive. It sets the tone for the day and puts us in the right frame of mind to make the day a positive day. In order to bring about change, we need to make a conscious effort and be committed to positive thoughts and behavior part of our lives. Having positive thoughts and behavior daily until they become a habit. William James of Harvard University said, if you're going to change your life, you need to start immediately. If you follow the 8 steps above, you will be it is possible. The loser says it may be possible, but it is too difficult. When a winning goal, everyone makes commitment goal, everyone makes commitments, and losers makes dreams, loser schemes. Winner says, winner say, I must do something. Loser say, something must be done. Winners are a part of the team, losers are apart from the team. Winners trade short-term pain for long-term gain. Losers trade short-term gain and trade long-term pain. Winners see possibilities, losers see problem. Winners believe in win-win, losers believe for them to win, someone has to lose. Winners see the potential, losers see the past. Winners choose what they say, losers say what they choose. Winners use hard arguments but soft words. Losers use soft arguments but hard words. Winners stand firm on values but compromise on petty things. Losers stand firm on petty things but compromise on values. Winners follow the philosophy of empathy. Don't do to others what you would not want them to do to you. Losers follow the philosophy, do to others before they do it to you. Winners make things happen, losers wait for things to happen. Winners plan and prepare to win. The key word is preparation. Action steps. You may be disappointed if you fail, but you will be moved if you get it. Let me close the chapter with the 8 actions steps discussed earlier. Look for the positive, make a habit of doing it now, develop an attitude of gratitude, create a continuous education program for yourself, build positive self-esteem, stay away from negative influences, stay learn to like the things that you ought to be done, start your day with something positive. Success building strategies. The greatest job security is performance. Superachievers don't waste time in unproductive thoughts, eso- esoteric thoughts, or catastrophic thoughts. They think constructively and they know that their level of thinking determines their success. You need to keep your mind on what you want, not on what you don't want. Success is not an accident, it is the result of your attitude, and your attitude is a choice. Hence, success is a matter of choice and not chance. A priest was driving when he saw an exceptionally beautiful farm. He stopped at the edge of a field, got out and stood quietly, appreciating the beautiful crop. The farmer was riding on his tractor and saw the priest. He drove over to where the priest was standing. The priest said to him, God has blessed you with a beautiful farm. You should be grateful for it. The farmer replied, yes, God has blessed me with a beautiful farm and I am grateful for it. But you should have seen this farm when God had the whole farm to himself. Had the whole farm to himself. What is the moral of the story? Good only helps those who help themselves. Fatalistic people only wait for things to happen, they never make things happen. Most crackpots keep waiting for a jackpot. That strategy rarely brings success. In fact, that is not even a strategy. It is an invitation to disaster. The common man seeks security, whereas the uncommon man seeks opportunity. Why does one person move forward with one success story after another, while others are still getting ready? Why does one man go through life crossing one hurdle after another and accomplishing his goals, while another struggles and gets nowhere? If we are able to understand the answer to the above two questions, we would revolutionize our lives. What is success? If you really want to succeed, from the habit of doing things that failures don't like to do. A lot of research has been done on the subject of success and failure. The secrets of success can be learned from the life histories of successful people. Successful people have certain qualities in common no matter which period of history they lived in and no matter what their fields of endeavor. Success leaves clues. If we identify and adopt the qualities of successful people, we too shall be successful. Similarly, there are characteristics common to people who aren't successful. If we avoid those characteristics, then we shall not be failures. Success is not mystery. It is simply the result of consistently applying some principles leading to success. The reverse is just as true. Failure is simply a result of making a few mistakes repeatedly. This might sound too simplistic, but the fact is that most truths are very simple. I'm not saying they are easy, but they are simple. How do we define success? What makes a person successful? How do we recognize success? What are the manifestations of success? How do we know we have arrived? To some people, success might mean wealth, to others, it may be recognition, good health, a good family, happiness, satisfaction, or peace of mind. What this really tells us is that success is subjective. Success means different things to different people. The definition that I feel best summarizes success is success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal. Let's look at the above definition of success carefully. Progressive means that success is a journey, not a destination. It is an ongoing process. We never arrive after we reach one goal. We go on to the next and next and so on. Realization means it is an experience. Outside forces cannot make me feel successful. I have to feel it within myself. It is internal, not external. That is why what often appears success externally may be total hollowness internally. No wonder we hear of some celebrities and billionaires taking drugs and committing suicide because they feel emptiness internally. Worthiness determines the quality of our journey. Can people have unworthy goals in their lives? The answer is yes. What makes a goal worthy? It is our value system which determines the quality of our journey. Whenever we talk of values, whose values are we talking about and who are we to judge? We talk of universal values and additional values. Universal values mean that they cut across countries, cultures, and religions. Eternal means they were here before we came and they will be here after we go. When I do my programs internationally, I'm asked, don't you see cultural differences? My answer is that I find more similarities in people than differences. To me, what I find cultural are really surface issues. They may not end up as surface issues, but to me, they appear totally surface issues. Example, the thumbs up sign in the Western world is a sign of encouragement or victory, whereas in some parts of the Middle East, it means you insulted me, you showed me your thumb. That's cultural. In India, we worship the snake and the rat. That's cultural. In Singapore and China, the number four is considered unlucky. That's cultural. Emotional appeals are totally identical. Integrity and cheating is given the some meaning in New Delhi, New York, New Zealand. Worthiness is what gives meaning and fulfillment. Success without fulfillment is empty. That's like good looks without goodness. In life, we need substance over form, not form over substance. Goals. Goals are important because they give us a sense of direction. Our destination determines the direction we take. Success and happiness go hand in hand. Success is getting what you want, and happiness is wanting what you get. Existence alone is not success, it is a load one. Do more than adjust, live. Do more than touch, feel. Do more than look, observe. Do more than read, absorb. Do more than hear, listen. Do more than listen, understand. Some obstacles to success, real or imagined. Ego, fear of failure or success, low self-esteem, no planning or goal, lack of formalized goals. So ego, no self-esteem, lack of formalized goals, not accepting responsibility, lack of focus, under ambitious, overcommitment, lack of training, lack of priorities, procrastination or escapist behavior, fear of failure or success, no planning or poor planning, ups and downs in life, financial insecurity, short-sightedness, over-ambitious, lack of commitment, lack of persistence. I don't know the key to success, but the key to failure is trying to please everybody. Success does not mean being liked and accepted by everyone. There are some groups I would not want to be accepted by out of choice. I would rather be criticized by friends than appreciated by chains and groups. I see success as a manifestation of good luck that results from aspiration, inspiration, and perspiration, generally in the sequence. The winning age. In order to get the winning age, we need to strive for excellence, not perfection. Striving for perfection is neurotic. Striving for excellence is progress. Excellence is continuous improvement. There's nothing that cannot be done better or improved the next time. All that we need is a little age at the race course. The winning hours that comes first may win with 3 to 1, 5 to 1 or 10 to 1 depending on the odds and betting. The question is whether the winning horse that runs 10 to 1 is 10 times faster than the next one. The answer is obviously no. He may only be faster by a fraction, by a nose, but the rewards are 10 times greater. Is it fair? Who cares? It does not matter. Those are the rules for the game. Whatever happens with the horses at the race course is also true in our human lives. The question is, do we have to be 10 times smarter than the competition? Absolutely not. All we need is the news and the rewards are 10 times bigger. It is a lot easier to improve 1% in 100 different areas than to improve 100% in any one area. That is the winning age struggle. History has demonstrated that the most notable winners usually encounter heartbreaking obstacles before they triumphed. They won because they refused to become discouraged by their defeats. Trials in life can be tragedies or triumphs, depending on how we handle them. Triumphs don't come without effort. A biology teacher was teaching his students how a caterpillar turns into a butterfly. He told the students that in the next couple of hours the butterfly will struggle to come out of the cocoon, but no one should help the butterfly. Then he left. The students were waiting and it happened. The butterfly struggled to get out of the cocoon, and against the advice of the teacher, one of the students took pity on it and decided to help the butterfly out of the cocoon. He broke the cocoon to help the butterfly so it didn't have to struggle anymore. But shortly afterwards, the butterfly died. When the teacher returned, he was told what had happened. He explained to the student that it is a law of nature, that the struggle to come out of the cocoon actually helps develop and strengthen the butterfly's wing. By helping the butterfly, the boy helped the plant. The butterfly avoids the struggle and the butterfly died. We should apply this same principle to our lives. Nothing worthwhile in life comes without a struggle. As as parents, we tend to hurt the ones we love most because we don't allow them to struggle and gain strength. Overcoming obstacles. People who have overcome obstacles are more secure than those who have never faced them. We all have problems and sometimes feel discouraged. Everyone faces disappointments, but winners don't get disheartened. The answer is perseverance. An English proverb says, a smooth sea never made a skillful mariner. Nothing comes easy in life. We cannot run away from our problems. Obstacles keep coming to test our grit time and time again. Most people give up just when they are about to achieve success. They quit on the 1 yard line. They give up at the last moment of the game, one foot from a winning touchdown. How do we measure success? True success is measured by the feeling of knowing we have done a job well and have achieved our objectives. Success is not measured by our position in life but by the obstacles we overcame to get there. Success in life is not determined by how we are doing compared with others, but by how we are doing compared with what we are capable of doing. Successful people compete against themselves. They better their own record and keep improving constantly. Success is not measured by how high we go up in life, but rather by how many times we bounce back when we fall down. It is this bounce back ability that determines success. Success is not an absence of problems, it is overcoming them. Every success story is also a story of great failure. Failure is the highway to success. Tom Watson of IBM said, if you want to succeed, double your failure rate. If you study history, you will find that all stories of success are also stories of great failures. The world only sees success. They don't see the struggle behind the success and say, he got lucky, he must have been at the right place at the right time. Let me share a famous life history with you. This was a man who failed in business at the age of 21, was defeated in a legislative race at age 22, failed again in business at age 24, congressional race at age 34, lost the age 45, failed in an effort to become vice president at age 47, lost the senator race at age 49, and was elected of the United States at age 52. This man was Abraham Lincoln. With these many failures, if Lincoln had quit, probably nobody would have blamed him, but nobody would remember him either. Would he call Lincoln a failure? He could have quit, hung his head in shame, and gone back to his law practice. But to Lincoln, defeat was a detour, not a dead end. The greatest people in the world turn a setback into a comeback. In 1913, Lee de Forest, inventor of the Tirode tube, was charged by the district attorney for using fraudulent means to mislead the public into buying stocks in his company by claiming that he could transmit the human voice across the Atlantic. He was publicly humiliated. Can you imagine where he would be without his invention? A New York Times editorial on 10 December 1903 questioned the wisdom of the Wright brothers who were trying to invent a machine heavier than air that would fly. 1 week later, Kitty Hawk The Wright brothers took their famous flight. Colonel Sanders, at age 32, he had to do some exposition. He remembered his mother's fried chicken recipe and went out sailing. How many doors did he have to knock on before he got his first order? It is estimated that he had knocked on more than 1,000 doors before he got his first order. How many of us quit after 3 tries, 10 tries, 100 tries, and then we say we tried as hard as we could? As a young cartoonist, Walt Disney faced many rejections from newspaper editors who said he had no talent. One day, a minister at a church to draw some cartoons. Disney was working out of a small rodent infested shed near the church. Seeing a small mouse inspired him to draw a new cartoon that was the start of Mickey Mouse. All the above examples confirm that success is not the absence of failure, it is overcoming failure. Successful people don't do great things, they only do small things in a great way. One day, a partially deaf 4 years old child came home with a note in his pocket from his teacher. Your Tommy is too stupid to learn. Get him out of school. His mother read the note and answered, my Tommy is not too stupid to learn. I will teach him myself. And that Tommy grew up to be the great Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison had only 3 months of formal schooling. Henry Ford forget to put the reverse gear in the first car he made. Do you consider these people failures? They succeeded in spite of problem, not in the absence of them. But negative thinkers, it appears as though they just got lucky. All success stories are stories of great failures. The only difference is that every time they failed, they bounced back they bounced back. This is called failing forward rather than backward. You learn and move forward. Move forward. Learn from your failure and keep on. In 1914, Thomas Edison, at age 67, lost his factory to fire. It had very little insurance. No longer a young man, Edison watched his lifetime effort go up in smoke and said, there is a great value in disaster. All our mistakes are burned out. Thank God we can start anew. In spite of disaster, 3 weeks later, he invented the phonograph. What an attitude. Below are more examples of the failures of successful people. Thomas Edison failed approximately 10,000 times while he was working on the light bulb. Henry Ford was broke at the age of 40. Lee Young Beethoven was told that he had no talent for music, but he gave some of the best music to the world. Setbacks are inevitable. A setback can act as a driving force and also teach us humility and grace. You will find courage and faith to overcome the setback, learn to become victor in turns into things, fear and doubt, short circuit to learn. After every setback, ask yourself what did I learn from this experience. Only then will you be able to turn a stumbling block into a stepping stone. In order to turn a setback into a comeback, we need to think positive and learn from our experience. Henry Ford said, if you think you can, you can. If you think you cannot, you cannot. You are right either ways. In fact, you will prove yourself right. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win but think you can't, it's almost a can't you won't. If you think you will lose, you are lost. For out in the world we find success begins with the fellow's will. It's all in the state of mind. If you think you are outclassed, outclassed you are. You are got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger and faster man, but sooner or later the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. Prosperity and success are the result of our thoughts and decisions. It is for us to decide what thoughts will dominate our lives. Success is not an accident, it is the result of our attitude.